This is the Blue Nile and the dam that Ethiopia has built across it. It has the potential to give millions of people electricity, to transform the country, and the reservoir is starting to fill. Downstream, Egypt, a country built around the Nile, is furious and worried. So why can't Ethiopia and Egypt agree on the Nile Dam? This standoff is about water, history and politics. It's about who sets the rules, and it's about how these nations can be. Egypt's President Sisi says the Nile is a question of life, a matter of existence to Egypt, to which this is the reply.
Needless to say, the Nile is as important to Ethiopia as it is to Egypt and the Sudan as a source of livelihood and economic development.
No one doubts the wealth in the water, it's how you divvy it up. Let's begin with the country building this dam, Ethiopia. Work began in 2011, these pictures are from 2018. For Ethiopians, this is personal. They help pay for the dam through donations and loans, and the goal is to give electricity to more than 65 million of them who don't have it. Theirs is a grand ambition.
In the words of its late project manager, to eradicate our common enemy, poverty.
But can that be done without creating poverty elsewhere? The dam is on the Blue Nile, where most of the Nile's water comes from. It joins the White Nile in Sudan, and from there flows north to the Nile in Egypt, a country whose history and whose present intertwine with the river. The vast majority of its people live close to it, and from farmers to the foreign minister, Egyptians argue if the river changes, everything changes.
There is no Egypt without water. We either have water or there is no future for us. Decreasing our water share will kill us slowly.
A colossal project that Ethiopia has constructed across the Blue Nile could endanger the security and very survival of an entire nation.
Now, Egypt has long had things its own way with the Nile. In 1929, Britain recognised Egypt's historical rights to the river and gave it the power to veto any future construction upstream. That deal was then reinforced in 1959, favouring Egypt and Sudan. Neither of these agreements made any allowance for Ethiopia. Perhaps not unreasonably, that still rankles.
The 1959 agreement between Egypt and the Sudan has apportioned the entire waters of the Nile between the two of them, with Egypt securing the lion's share, leaving nothing for Ethiopia.
But Egypt argues that historical agreement is still valid. Ethiopia is blunt on this, calling these claims the most absurd thing you ever heard, all of which helps to explain what The Economist describes as the toxic mood in both countries. It says Egyptians have cast Ethiopia as a thief bent on drying up their country. In Ethiopia, Egypt's portrayed as a neo-colonial power trampling on national sovereignty, none of which sounds promising. So we're left asking, who can resolve this? The Trump administration, the UN and the African Union have all tried to mediate, but there's still no deal. And Ethiopia is not waiting for one. Here's the evidence. This satellite image is from the end of June. Note the water to the right of the dam. Then this is mid-July. Ethiopia's confirmed the reservoir is filling up. Now, the key stumbling block to a deal is that Ethiopia is reluctant to put a figure on how much water it will release. Egypt, though, wants a guaranteed amount, even during droughts. Sudan also wants guarantees. It says signing an agreement is a prerequisite for us before filling the dam. Sudan has the right to demand it. Maybe, but Ethiopia knows it holds plenty of cards. The "It's my dam" slogan taunts Egypt and suggests Ethiopia is rather enjoying the shift in the power dynamic. Certainly Ethiopians are. Clips like this have been uploaded to TikTok. You can see cups here representing Ethiopia, Sudan and South Sudan. They're filled with water. Then Egypt's share is poured out and the glass wiped clean. This leaves Ethiopians with a decision, whether to compromise. The dam is theirs, but the river isn't. Egypt told the UN Security Council recently, no nation is an island nation. And surely Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed recognises that. He helped end Ethiopia's lengthy conflict with Eritrea by compromising. His political approach is often described by the Amharic term medema, which means coming together, rejecting dogma and promoting compromise. As the dam continues to fill, his commitment to that idea is being tested. If you like that report, there are lots more from me and the team here on the BBC News YouTube channel.